K-Pop Demon Hunters soundtrack was the most streamed album on Spotify for certain times last week. A movie soundtrack is getting more streams than Bad Bunny, Billie Eilish, and Sabrina Carpenter's newest albums. Your Idol by Soulja Boys was topping the charts and beating BTS and Blackpink. And you know what? I'm here for it. This movie was great. It is so fun. Listen, I don't really even like musicals like that, and I was thoroughly enjoying the entire runtime. This might be the greatest 2 seconds of animation of all time. I don't care what haters on Twitter have to say. Move over Miyazaki, move over Disney. We got Zoey funny moments compilations, and you don't. K-Pop Demon Hunters is about, well, it's kind of in the title. K-pop stars, they hunt demons, and then there's a demons describes themselves as a boy band to fight, and then they sing, and then they fight. It's kind of silly, I'll be honest. The story doesn't really matter. You don't watch this movie for the story, be honest. K-Pop Demon Hunters just has such a visual edge to it. I feel like there's no round edges in this film. Everything is sharp, everything is jagged. Like, you can tell these characters were drawn in pencil first, then translated to 3D. In an age of bean-mouth Pixar designs and AI image generation, here's a movie that cuts against the grain. Rumi is a well-structured character, but I think it's really Mira and Zoey that make fans love this movie, and why they demand a sequel. This cannot be all the content we get of such well-designed, fitted-up, beautifully voiced characters. Zoey is kind of easily my favorite character, though, because you can actually feel the animator's love for the visual medium in every step. She is gorgeous, she's vibrant, she's energetic, she's giving Che from Twice. Her expressions feel the most natural. Like, I feel like sometimes the movie would kind of force quirky moments and mishaps with Jinu or Mira to be like, haha, look, they're so relatable. Whereas with Zoey, it's a little more organic of a foil to their seriousness. By the way, isn't it so silly how, like, K-pop stars will literally try to farm clips of them being quirky and silly so that in their funny moments compilation they can have more clips? I feel like sometimes I could see the real effects of that in this movie. But despite that, there was still plenty of authenticity in the main trio of characters. To be honest, the real problem with this movie is that Zoey and Mira have so much style, but not enough substance. They don't get enough screen time to really just mesh with Rumi. I've seen fans make comics of little breakdown moments where they just chill and be friends. And yeah, this would have gone a long way. Because Zoey and Mira aren't inherently that tied to the story. They're more or less just something to add pressure to Rumi and Jinu. They have to kind of force a conflict by having Rumi hide her demon half from them. Genuine question, why does Rumi hide that, by the way? Like, what is the point of not just telling her best friends her struggle? I feel like it would be kind of silly for them to fight just because of that. And then, of course, they do, and then they do that cliche animated movie thing where they're like, no, it's not what you think. You lied to me. No, wait, please. I just wanted to fix things. We trusted you. And then they break up. And then, of course, after the fight, they come back together. And the whole time I'm like, yeah, they're going to get back together. All right, movie, let's move it along. But where the story kind of lacks sometimes, what the movie does do well, though, is, it understands the female gaze. According to some concept art, we were apparently supposed to get, like, shirtless scenes from Jinu during the fight. Like, his shirt accidentally pops off, but they scrapped that because they were like, maybe that's doing too much. But I disagree. This movie is ridiculous and silly. Just go all out. Have him slip on a banana peel and his biceps rip his shirt open. I don't know. Just be yourself. The movie was fun. The action is super well coordinated, although a little too flowing at times almost. Like, it's very, very pretty, but what I mean is sometimes the demons die just like a little too easily. Like, listen, I understand every action movie ever in existence does this, where there's like a million goons and bad guys and they die super easily. But man, the girls just like touch the demons with their weapons and they just disintegrate. I feel like a little more friction or struggle wouldn't have hurt. They're kind of overpowered against them. Look, in this scene on top of a train, a portal summons like a bajillion monsters and they just come flowing out. And at this point, I don't even care. Like, I'm laughing, I'll be honest. This scene is ridiculous. Like, Mira just hits the ground with her spear and it demolishes all of them. Like, bro, give me a break. But like I said, the camera work is very subtly one of the best parts of this movie. During the final concert, I love how it seamlessly transitions from an up-close view of the Huntrix to a crowd view, just like the camera would in a normal concert. It's just constantly moving, but without making the viewer feel dizzy or feeling like they're being jerked all over the place. And obviously, like I even have to mention it, the music is great. Golden is a banger. Free is low-key a banger too. They got Jin Young, Ji Yo, and Chae Young from Twice to perform, which, now that I'm thinking about it, is probably why this movie's budget is so high despite it not being a theatrical release. My favorite part in this whole movie is when the Saja boys first perform Soda Pop, and Jinu is in the front, and there's this one fan that like tries to run up to him, but Jinu's aura is so thick and powerful, and it's so strong that they go flying off of him as he's like hip thrusting. I was dying, bro. This is hilarious. His dick wave just sent her back flying. There's so many just silly moments in this movie that are so funny because it is just so itself. I love this movie. One Easter egg I like is how at the end of the movie, Zoey is wearing a hoodie of the tiger demon, which I can only assume to mean they eventually adopted him after Rumi revealed him to them. There's just so much detail in this film. Everything is so meticulous and overflowing with little edits and animations. Sony really is on a tear right now, which feels weird to say because in my mind for the longest time, I always thought, oh, it's a Sony movie. Oh, it's going to be mid. Maybe not terrible, but like for a while, their best movie was Surf's Up, which is a really good movie, by the way. And Hotel Transylvania, again, a really good movie. But among those were a bunch of bad sequels, Open Seasons, the Smurfs movie, the Emoji movie, Peter Rabbit. And then all of a sudden, they're like, I understand it now. They make Spiderverse, one of the best movies of the decade. And all of a sudden, now they're pretty consistently making great movies. I'm relatively optimistic for more K-Pop Demon Hunters content. If Open Season, the Smurfs, and the Angry Birds movie got sequels, I don't know. I don't think it's impossible to get another installment. That's just my speculation, though. Dude, the movie literally just came out, and fans are like, "Where's the rest? I want it now!" Like, guys, animation takes a while to make. I would know, but I would be cautiously optimistic. This movie was awesome. Hopefully, we get a sequel. We'll see. Well, that's about all I got. Just wanted to shout out this movie. Go see it if you haven't. I don't know what you're doing. Like and subscribe, and bye.